That won't show on camera, will it?
Your brain starts squeezing out your ear.
Well, that was the next thing, is will it show up on my behavior? From a journey up in the mountains. Though I have never seen all of the peaks, I have seen what they all look like. A certain man down in the valley cursed the many puddles about his house. Each and every one he singled out and cursed. Cursed them individually and cursed them continually until it accomplished nothing. Though he saw all of the puddles, he never saw that they were all the same puddle. While dozing under a tree, a man dreamed the question of whether it is the strength and cunning of a foe that overcomes you, or his number. And upon awakening from his snooze, changed that to his apparent number. Hey, what hope is there in warfare if your info is not exact? There was once a mystical order whose sole teaching was, be of good cheer. But it took most students half a lifetime to realize whether this was meant for the mind or for the stomach. And see, there's a built-in trick, because by the time you've sorted this out, you're then to the point that it no longer matters. It no longer matters. Well, it no longer matters whether, I'm not going to insult your intelligence by finishing that, because you know how it goes from there. Oh, the ham bone connected to the serotonin supply site. Should I have, oh, the ham bone connected? There was once an evil king who kept a poor innocent soul captive, using only the method of starvation. That's right, as strange as it sounds, he kept the poor man forever captive simply by starving him. And no, it didn't kill him, for such captivity has a lifespan equal to that of an unnourished man. Oh, the ham bone connected to the everything. Oh, the ham bone connected to the boom. There was once a race of round creatures whose collective physical existence was dependent on things oblong. But a few began to suspect that their individual run might be drastically different if they could think of only things round. The fewest of the few would go on to eventually see thinking only of things round as but a stepping stone to something in the same general area, yet of another order altogether. Seasonal serenades. March. Mirror, mirror on the wall. June. Mirror, mirror. September. Wall, wall on the wall. And then the singing stopped. Regarding the matter of awakening and the attempts to awake. You can't get off a train while it's still rolling. The reason that the secret annals continue to record more cases of plain, simple men experiencing enlightenment rather than sophisticated, scholarly ones is because they can more easily understand this. To hold on to the motions of the mind is to be dragged through rugged terrain by a wild horse. One man fought continual brush fires around his house until he realized that what he took to be flames were in fact his yard. To thoughts, like troubles and houseflies, one man gave the same acknowledgement. So, another one. Today's grand prize question is this: was the first man who went to sleep also the first man who wanted to awaken? And hey, don't wait on me for the answer. Look at yourself. Oh, come on. Don't pout and be like that. Okay, I'll give you an easy version. Was the first man who went stupid also the first man who wanted to become smart? Yeah, go ahead. You can peek at the kid's paper next to you then. I never thought it'd come to this. Having to monitor for cheating on an ignorance quotient exam. But that's what I get for hanging out with humans. Perhaps of supreme importance is to remember to be careful. You might also remember that a busy person is not a careful person. Oh yeah, and something else. Being busy is an internal thing. At the conclusion of a mystic's comments to a crowd, someone therein began to applaud and call out his name, to which he responded by noting if there was anything to be applauded, it was not the man, but the words the man spoke, which may have triggered new ideas in the listener, and that being the cause of their desire to express appreciation. If you were ever trapped on a planet with zero visibility and wanted to identify the more conscious thereon, all you would have to do is listen out to see who reacted favorably to splendid ideas rather than to splendidly appearing men. Having heroes of ideas rather than heroes of men always separates the few from the many. The travails of travel too long suspended. If you stand on a hillside separating fact from ignorance, you will forever stand on a hillside separating fact from ignorance. Those who say, I can now more clearly see the truth, may or may not be able to see more clearly than they once did. But so long as they say and think such things, be assured that they have yet to learn how to actually see. And the doctor said, stand right here and look at the chart. And the man was alert enough to recognize his mind's voice, even in disguise when he heard it, and realized that it was still up to its standard professional ethics of tempting him to stare at the damn chart. And if not that, something else. A man asked a mystic, can you tell me how to awaken? That I can, he replied, but first I must have some personal information about you. You must take notice, then report to me the answer to this. In bed at night, as you pass from the ordinary daytime state of consciousness into the normal nighttime one of sleep, do you so pass in an instant? Are you at one moment awake and then, bam, the next you're asleep? Or do you pass from the waking state to the sleeping one gradually? There was once a mythical city which held an annual celebration they called a day to show our lack of honor to smart-ass mystics. Which of course caused all mystics and would-beers for miles around to move there immediately. Well, as soon as their consciousness got around to realizing the implications of this attitude. The math of it. An awakened mind neither adds nor subtracts. One man's made it simple. He says he's narrowed it down to this, that anyone who's died is his hero. He says especially regarding thoughts. speaking of it, the enlightened mind neither comments nor doesn't comment. One man's hoped for new home address he pictures to be, abandonment is health, possession, the deadly cancer. To what in himself does a man refer when he thinks, I should let it go? That's an easy one. Try this. What is it in him that thinks the I should let it go stuff? Now there's your question. The ordinary like to fret over physical habits, lest they concern themselves over the pertinent ones and run the risk of turning into mystics. Yeah. A mystic with 20/20 vision still can't see good. I shot an arrow into the air. You mean you shot it externally? That's correct. I shot an arrow into the air, certainly externally to myself. What's the point? Never mind. Perfect vision does no good if you're looking in the wrong direction. I knew that. Never mind. When he had nothing left to hunt, one man would lay a blanket over his outstretched leg with just his foot exposed, which he would wiggle about as he took shots thereat. Just think where you could also apply that. One guy about decided that a man who won't talk to you may be your best friend. Hey, mind, did you hear that? He added. As regards escape, the liberated mind neither runs nor doesn't run from it. First a note, due to my continuing severe bouts of personal depression, we were unable to obtain the services of the actor who normally portrays me on these tapings. So due to those circumstances, tonight I'll be forced to fill in for myself. The news. It both can be said and can't be done, but can always be said to be done. My pants are ablaze.